This week on the Secret Rugby Lives, an actress who South Africans know and love for many roles, including one, Getroud, that had a bit of a rugby theme. It's Cindy Swanepoel discussing her love of the game on the Secret Rugby Lives. So for South African television fans, a show called Binnelanders has been a fixture for some time. But our guest this week is not just somebody who stars as in a medical soap opera. She's been in all manner of shows and all manner of movies, including Cindy Swanepoel, a rugby series. And I think that might have been one of the first things I saw when I heard about Cindy Swanepoel, went and did some Googling, and there were you in a rugby show.
Yes, I played a kind of a white trashy character. You know, they made my hair blonde, and she was kind of lived in the outskirts, and then she tried to get with one of the rugby guys, so she had to change her accent and made herself pretty, so she became like a cheerleader for the team. Yeah.
Now, did slipping into this role, obviously you were cast very differently from the nature of the character, but was there a...
Well...
was there a love of rugby that you could draw from going into this role?
Yeah, always. I mean, rugby's just like, I think it's in every South African's blood. Everyone has their own little story. It feels like home to me. My dad's just always been a huge rugby fan. So it's just like he makes his own Lucy. You know, like he calls it a Lucy. He'll have a biltong and droewors and the chippies and that. Yeah, it's a part of me. So I had to do no research in that regard.
The standard South African rugby diet.
Exactly.
So he clearly loved it. Would you watch a lot of rugby with him? Was it something that was part of growing up?
Yes, always. My dad was very emotional about it. He got really emotional about it. So later years, the doctor said he's not allowed to watch it with his friends because it's not good for his heart. It works him up too much. And I remember one specific moment where I was young, probably like standard 4 or something, and there was serious rugby happening, or it was always serious rugby, and I stood right in front of the TV and I said, "Papa, wie wen so ver? Like, who's winning so far?" And my dad just went like, "Get out of this way," he went, "Niemand wen so ver nie." And then I knew our team was losing. Yeah. But it was always that last second, because 3 kan gedruk word at the last second. I learned that the hard way.
What about the actual watching the game? Your dad sounded quite passionate.
Yeah.
Are you an easy person to watch rugby with?
Very. As long as, because I relate to braai, family or friends, to me I'm like, oh, is there rugby? Yay! That means people come together. So I'll even read. I know that's bad. My fiance loves rugby also, so we'll get the Lucy, so I'll get the droewors and biltong, and I'll just like and sit. I was learning a script the other day, and then I can hear if there's like something that's going to happen now. I'll put it down, I'll watch the last little bit. Yeah, I think that's a good strategy. It's like watching the highlights, you know?
It clearly works for you.
Yeah.
Are there particular rugby players, rugby teams who've featured on your list of favourites?
I used to love Victor Matfield. I was like, I always called him Vicky, you know. But I mean, when I was younger, you know, I was like, yes, Victor Matfield. And now I miss Sia, I miss him. Me and Craig, we always pretend that Sia is one of our best friends. We go, how's old C doing, you know? C, yeah, and Rach. I'll call Rach later. Miss him. I think our team also misses like one captain because we're jumping around right now. That's what I know. And what's say Norm? Because I got his name wrong, but I really do like him. Morkel is Marks.
Malcolm Marks.
Oh, I mess it up. Malcolm Marks. Yeah. Good-looking man, firstly. Strong. I like him a lot. And who else? There's a lot of new players. I'm actually learning. Oh, Redhead.
Stephen Kitsoff.
Yes, he's great.
That's quite a range from Victor Matfield, whose hair is almost
That was
as nice
just
as
what
yours.
he looked like, that's all. Thank you, Dan.
And Stephen and Malcolm, who are all part of this wonderful team. It probably goes without saying then that once the spectre of them being on the world stage comes together, you are going to be watching very closely and probably setting the script aside for those big games.
Yeah, okay, don't judge, all right? I might have a little script. No, I definitely, I'll be watching, yes, see. I love that. It is just it's like our country comes together with that.
Getroud was a piece of rugby on television and eventually a movie. Is there a rugby story you think Cindy Swanepoel might one day feature in as you bring a great rugby moment, maybe an international triumph to life on screen?
Yes, see, imagine that. I used to do an advert for DSTV where I played this bride. It was such a great ad. And it's just before she throws the bouquet. It's this beautiful moment. She held the bouquet and she smiles and she turns around, looks at the bridesmaids, and then she turns and she's like, Shaba, yaka, ah. And I shouted and I threw the bouquet. My eye went like this. And then the bridesmaids had a fight and they lose their teeth. It was fantastic. Like, if it's anything about comedy, maybe relating with rugby, I'll be there.
So there we go. A love of rugby forged by her dad, watching for years, loves watching the games now, and a bit of rugby experience on screen with possibly some more to come. It's the Secret Rugby Life of Cindy Swanepoel, made just for you by BrightRock.